Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. Excuse me, my throat's a little dry. Me and my brother just got back from the theater. He will not be joining us today. He's busy doing some stuff today, so gonna be riding solo for this review. And yeah, so just got back from seeing this, and I have some thoughts. So that film that we're going to be discussing today is Animal Farm, which was directed by Andy Serkis. You guys know, obviously, he's done many of work, Caesar and Gollum, amongst other things here and there. But on the directorial front, he's directed a few films here and there, one of which I believe is called Breathe with Andrew Garfield. More notably, he did Mowgli, the Jungle Book adaptation for Netflix. And he is currently directing and helming the next Lord of the Rings film, The Hunt for Gollum, which I believe is going to start shooting pretty soon. But this is coming from Angel Studios, so same people who gave you The King of Kings last year, amongst other projects here and there. They got Young Washington coming out in a couple months. So they're growing. Also starring Andy Serkis in that film, Young Washington. But they're, growing as a company. They started out kind of small, and now they're just, bringing in some, notable fit names. In this film specifically, we have a voice cast of Seth Rogen, Karen Culkin, I think that's how you say his name, Glenn Close, as well as a couple of other names here and there, Woody Harrelson also. And as the story goes, this is based off of a novel by George Orwell, I believe that's his name. And as the story goes, this takes place, as the title suggests, on a farm. And the farm is run by a not really, great person. They kind of allude to the idea that maybe he's like a raging alcoholic or something to that effect. And the animals are not being treated well. And the farmer has not paid off his dues. So the farm is being sold off, the land's being sold off, so therefore the animals also have to go. And the animals start getting into this vehicle, which that they thought is the laughter house, but actually turns out it's the slaughterhouse. And upon realizing this, they decide to enact a rebellion and decide to take over the farm themselves, and hence the title of the film comes into play. And they form a society, the pigs and the horses and the cows, they all coexist together, and they all are treated equally. Until Seth Rogen's character decides to enact his own, interests before others, and ultimately becomes that of their quote-unquote ruler, and decides to starts to create divisions amongst such society, where other animals are lifted up and certain animals are put down. The whole agricultural, environment of the farm starts to change. Some more technological elements start coming into play because of him starting to also branch out of that farm, starts to enact his agendas further, and ultimately becomes out of a story about corruption and about societal, formations, and about cultural divisions that are found through said corruption. So, like I said, this is based off of a novella. I believe it's actually a novella. I said novel earlier, by George Orwell. And going into this, I wasn't expecting much. I believe I did a trailer reaction, and I wasn't that thrilled by what I saw. But I was just to watch something with my brother. I thought, hey, why not? Animal Farm is out this weekend, so we weren't curious to see Devil Wears Prada too. So just give it a shot with Animal Farm. And I knew going into this that a lot of people were not liking this. Currently, it's sitting at 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. I just checked Letterboxd after getting out of the theater. It's at a 1.9. So reception is really, really down on this. And, everyone's entitled to their opinion, obviously. And a lot of the criticism is coming towards the attitude of the film. And I will kind of echo those sentiments here in this review, but speak positively though for a second. I think that the animation itself is competent. It's not anything, stellar, spectacular. It's not as expressive, it's your simplistic, rather 3D environment, but it's done well enough. You can tell that they did some they put in some effort to make some of the details, the shading and stuff like that. It looks fine. It's not anything like like oh, this is like a Spider-Verse where it's like super stylistic or whatever like that, very expressive. It gets the job done in that respect. And the same can go for the voice cast. They all do competent work. No one's really going out of their way for their performance. They're just kind of doing what they do. Some feel like they're just kind of reading their lines. Woody Harrelson especially, I just feel like he's just literally just reading his lines. He just isn't really doing much to really push that performance further. But a lot of what I'm saying right now about not really pushing forward, not really getting to the heart of its characters, or not really getting to the heart of its animation, or exploring itself fully, I feel like is truly the problem with this film, because there's a darkness to the story, and they present that in here. They're not shying away from it. I won't say really what, but there are elements to this that evoke that of a dark undertone. And the issues with evoking such an idea is when you have a very simplistic nature that the story does, and they really double down on it, with having the really kid-friendly elements on display. There's fart jokes, there's weird things. There's a rap version of Old MacDonald that it just felt like, okay. I actually laughed when I heard that. I was like, really? We're doing a rap version of this? A lot of that stuff is there, and you might argue that it's expected because of just the nature of its premise and the nature of what we're seeing. You may still think that, oh, well, it's a kid's movie, we should expect those things. I never have liked those arguments, because I think that kids' movies can be very intelligent and can have a lot to say. I mean, look at Pixar. They make movies that have mature themes in them, and they could still appeal to that of children and to adults. Get appeal to a wider audience. You don't have to dumb it down and do these particular things for kids, because I think that kids can be more enlightened than just that. And also for the benefit of the story, because in the case of this specific story, like I said, there's a darkness there. There is a maturity that is there. And when you see it unfold, when you see that there is that potential there, with all the little things that I just mentioned too, about the ideas of like formations of society, the ideas of cultural division, like these things that are prominent in the story. I just pulled up my notes just to remind myself of things that I thought about in the movie. When you see that stuff, you can see the potential and see that there is more to offer than what it lets on. So, and because of the simplicity that it wants to have, really kind of take presence, or really take as the dominant force in the storytelling, it leaves the identity of the narrative, I think, to kind of bounce around a little bit, because that darkness is there, but that simplicity is what's being lifted more so than anything else. So it kind of bounces around between being sanitized and then having something more substantial, more meat to the bone. And it just in some ways creates a doubtful craftsmanship that dares to have that more mature sense of weight, but I feel like is too afraid to commit to those sensibilities because of what it believes itself to be. It thinks that it's a kid's film. It thinks that it is just that for children. But I do believe that a story like this, it reminds me, like in terms of just the literal story, it reminds me of like an older Disney classic, like a film from like the 40s or 50s, where you have these cartoon-like elements kind of reflecting that of real life, or making a comment about the real world. And, whether you're sanitizing it or whatever, you're still representing it, through that of a quote-unquote kids medium, and you can have those mature themes take precedence. And I think Animal Farm has all the material for that. And according to some of the reviews that I just read, apparently the source material is darker, and it is, a story that leans into that. So, man, perhaps that's what a lot of the issue is with the people talking about the movie right now. A lot of people seem to maybe have issues with that. Maybe that's the root of the issues. I don't know. But for me, anyway, I think that it had more to offer But for what it was offering, it's basic, and I think it just gets the job done, and I just think that it doesn't really push itself further. But I feel that it has the potential for it when you look at that story and you see what it's wanting to discuss and how it wishes to hold itself into some extent with certain things. What they choose to also like keep in that story, like I won't really say what, but like there's death in the story, and it's like it's not like the kind of death that it's not the kind of death to where it's like I don't know. I don't want to spoil it really, but like you get what I'm saying. Where it's like there's certain kinds of like representations of real life that is digestible for children. In this case, especially with how it's being translated, it's more mature, and it dares to to go in those areas. But the problem with it is, like I said, it is just playing rather simplistic and playing to itself much too innocently. And I think that is a detriment to that story, and kind of puts itself further down than more, lifted and more meaningful. Because it has the story behind to supply more meaning, but it just doesn't want to get to the core of it. It just kind of wants to circle around it more so than getting into it. So it's okay, but I feel that it had a lot more to offer than it leads itself on. And that's unfortunate. I wish that it committed, and I wish that it went for those darker areas, and I wish that it was more mature in a certain way. But for what we have here, it's not terrible, but you can see the potential. You can see what they could have done with it. And I wish that they had committed in that direction. So those are my thoughts on Animal Farm. It's very, very okay. It's not terrible. I think that for children, it's fine. I don't think that children are going to have many issues watching it, or feel bored about it. But I think that in that is also the fundamental problem with the movie. It can be more than just a kids movie, and it has the story for it. It just doesn't wish to really go in that way. But you guys know your thoughts on Animal Farm if you guys have seen it. Like I said, there's a lot of negative reaction towards it. I heard that Andy Serkis, I guess, made a comment about the criticism. I don't know what he had to say about it, but yeah. But let me know all your thoughts regarding the Animal Farm. If you guys have read the book, let me know your thoughts there. Is it apparently, as far as I've read, it's like they're very different in terms of tone and approach to the story. But yeah. So that's gonna be it for this review, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.